Okay, so this is for you people that don't know how to hook up your miniature horse and put on the tack. So you always start by putting on the saddle, breeching, and crupper. Now you put the saddle right on the withers here, right on the withers, or right behind the withers. Now you don't put on the breeching quite yet. You lay the breeching out on the tail and the crupper as well. Just lay them out on the tail like that before you put on your girth. Make sure they aren't too heavy. Put on Mr. Stuff. You put on your girth, and it depends on, now whatever hole you put it on, it depends on how tight you want it for your horse. Sometimes the saddles don't have to be that tight, sometimes they do. It depends on if you have a feeding rope. Now, after that, you lay the wrap straps over. Now, if you have wrap straps that are just connected in the middle, then you can slide them in the middle, and sometimes they're not the same length. So you want to get them the same length before you lay them over, like that. Good boy. And then you put on the breast collar. Now the breast collar, obviously, goes on the front. And for now, you'll just put the breast collar below his neck. So you don't want it up here, because that'll cut off his breathing. So put it right below, and then you take the top of breast collar and you attach it to the buckle on the other side. And make sure it's on the lowest hole that it can be on, so that it doesn't cut off their breathing. And you just lay the extra strap along his or her back. And then it's time to do up the breeching and the crupper. So for now, we'll just lay the breeching over the tail and the crupper as well. Get the crupper underneath, just slide it underneath there, and the breeching as well. Try to do it as quickly as possible so that your horse doesn't feel any discomfort. Now you try to make that fairly tight, not too tight that their tail comes up, but fairly tight. I like to put it on the last one here. And the breeching, you don't want it to be too low that it is right here. You want it to be about right here, because if it's too low, then it will like bring their legs up, and then that's when they'll start bucking. So you'll just want to lay the breeching straps over his back, like so. Now it's time to put on the cart. So some horses are move around when you put on the cart, but luckily he's a very good boy and he doesn't do that. So you want to make sure that you get all the straps that you've laid down out of the way before you put the straps into the footman's loops. Now you also want to make sure that the cart isn't pushing on one side and completely off of his other side. So like that, I need to move the cart over a little bit so that he's comfortable. Boy. And you want to also make sure that the breast collar straps or the are under the footman's loops for the saddle. Okay. And I normally attach it on the middle, loop. You attach it to a loop on the end there, like that. Now it's going to be pretty loose at first, but it will tighten when he starts pulling, because these are what pulls, like, so these help him pull the cart. So this is what he's really pushing on the cart, because he's pushing on the breast collar, and these tighten when he pushes. Now, after you have put on the 2 breast collar straps, you are going to put on the breeching and attach it to this loop right here. Now you don't want this pokey thing to poke into his stomach. Good boy. So you want to make it face out and make sure that's not wrapped around breast collar straps. Put that right in there. Good boy. And then you'll want to do... You
have to do the other side?
Yeah. Then you'll want to do the wrap straps. Hi, Bella. Which go around the footman's loops and under the shaft. So I want to put that under the shaft like that, and then attach it to this buckle down here. Now you want to make sure that it just goes on to the first buckle at first, because it doesn't need to be extra tight. It's only to keep it so that the cart doesn't fly up if he backs up or if there's an accident. And you do the same on the other side. Okay, and then we have the bridle. Now I would suggest putting the reins through the turrets before you put the bridle on him. So now you have to make sure that the rein goes with the turret, and put it along into the basket. Now, some horses don't like the bit, so if you don't have a very good bit, then they will probably put their tongue over the bit, or they will resist when you put the bridle on. But luckily, he loves this bit, and so to make sure that he doesn't run away from you, gotta put the halter over and just retie it on to his neck. Now you want to flip it over and then get your thumb in there over his tongue. Now make sure the bit is over his tongue like that. Now he'll want to adjust And make sure the noseband is in the correct spot. And then do the throat latch. Now you don't want the throat latch to be too tight, because that would also cut off his breathing if he puts his head down. So suggest putting it on the middle loop hole. And now, if you're going to put your whip in your whip holder, then I would suggest to leave the halter on so that he doesn't run off with the cart. There we go. Next, you just put your whip in your whip holder on your cart, and voila.
Got a bridle still.